This video is sponsored by Your Turn Games, a retailer of Redemption CCG with various products, such as singles, sealed product, and great deals on bundles like battle boxes and grab bags. They also have pre-built decks, such as Challenger decks in the $55 range, Contender decks in the $80 to $95 range, and Champion decks in the this deck just placed at Nationals last year dollar range. They also have card supplies to keep you caught up on all of your gaming needs, and at no cost to you, they have Redemption resources such as the latest Redemption news, rules, tournaments that are coming up, and Redemption content such as this. So head on over to yourturngames.biz today, and a big thank you to them for supporting this content. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. Merry Christmas for those of you who are watching in the not too distant future. This is, I guess, Happy New Year for those who are watching in the not too much later after that future. Right in between right now. So Christmas has come and gone, but I've still got a family Christmas coming up because people schedules and stuff are all busy and whatnot. So I've got another one coming up, so it's still kind of Christmas season for me and maybe for some of you as well. I did fully intend to have a actual full Christmas video where I had a deck that was themed on Christmas stuff and uh, doing gameplay, and then that didn't quite work out because just timing and stuff and computer issues for me, unfortunately, again, are kind of made that difficult to work out. And then I was thinking about doing maybe a live stream or a live physical game with my brother-in-law John, who unfortunately, well, okay, no, the fortunately, unfortunately for my channel of just the timing of it, but fortunately for everything else, they had their kid, my sister had their kid on Christmas Eve, and so that was when we were, or Christmas Eve was when I was thinking about going down there, and we were gonna maybe do some GOC draft or something like that, and yeah, that didn't end up happening, working out the way that I was hoping for it to, but it's perfectly okay. I'm certainly happy that my niece is now in the world and got to meet her on Christmas Day, so that was pretty sweet. Um, so, what am I doing here, and why do I have this deck in front of you? Which this is one that you guys probably, well, hopefully should recognize if you've been following the channel for the past month or so. So I'm going to be doing just kind of a recap of the Postivity deck that I played throughout all of Lackey Grand Prix number 6. It, I think I kind of ended up around middle of the road after 4 rounds, and so wasn't great, wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. I think that there are definitely some things to look at and tweak with the deck so that hopefully I can learn from it, and I don't know, well, maybe scrap the idea for now, or at least shelve it for now, and maybe switch up the deck a little bit to do, I think, kind of the same thing that I wanted to accomplish, but not quite as complicated and split. I was talking with Tyler about the deck, as I often do. I know we talk to each other about strategies and stuff. Getting the YouTuber collab. I don't know. Since we kind of overlap with our content a little bit, at least a video like this is going to be more similar to one of his videos than to my normal gameplay videos. And now he's playing games and stuff, so I don't know. I gotta fight back, kind of encroach on his territory a little bit, as he encroaches on mine. No, I'm sure it's great. There are not enough Redemption content creators out there to certainly occupy as much of my time as I would like to have with Redemption content. Maybe that's a good thing for now, but it would be cool if there were more redemption content creators out there, and I'd certainly encourage anyone who feels inspired to do so, especially after with like Lackey Grand Prix number 7. We're going to be testing out the proposed rule change of the 1 territory class per turn. I talked a little bit about this last week, but if you haven't signed up for that, you still can as of the release of this video. I'm pretty sure, at least as of the recording. So you can't blame me if it's not still open. But signups are still going. The games are like required, I get, like for the most part, like to the best of your ability to be recorded, not for posting anywhere, but at least like for the elders, like that's kind of part of the deal, and there are prizes involved and incentives, all that kind of stuff. Make it worth your time, and it's super easy to record your games, and if you feel so inclined to post them on YouTube or somewhere else that other people can view them, I'm sure that there would be a number of people who would enjoy that, including myself. So yep, that's my little spiel for why you should become a redemption content creator. It does take some commitment and some time that I probably wouldn't have if I was at a stage in my life where I had like kids or something like that, something crazy like that. So I definitely understand for those of you who aren't at a point in your life where you can juggle that, but just posting once in a while is pretty cool. And a lot of us don't really care if it's perfectly catered and trimmed and edited and everything like all of my videos are, because no, that's definitely not true. But just seeing the raw gameplay, which is that's totally fine. There's I love using the little plus 10 seconds or whatever feature on YouTube, or watching videos at 1.5 times speed. So we can certainly factor that in or account for that on our own. So anyways, what are we going to do with this deck? So the direction that I was kind of feeling, that I think Tyler kind of helped to like solidify for me when he was saying, is like the offense is kind of just like going in 2 different directions, where like I kind of I know what I want the offense to do, but it's just not like cohesive enough. Like it's not working together quite as well. And this is maybe kind of a segue into a future video that I plan to do of like how do you splash themes together. That's a question that I've gotten from a couple of people in the community here who have seen some of my decks, and how they're splashed, and kind of how to go about mixing themes like that, like what kinds of cards are good and what are not. So that will be a future video, hopefully not too far in the future here, and I'll maybe kind of touch on a few of those things here, where I've got the posties on one hand, and I've got the nativity on the other. That's where the whole Postivity name comes from. And while there is some overlap, like so Gabriel bands to a gospel hero, and kind of the whole idea was like, okay, so Gabriel can band to Eliezer, and then Eliezer can band to David or Jehoshaphat, and then or Joshua, or I guess, or just Matan, but go to Jehoshaphat, then you can go Jeshua and Zerubbabel. So basically you can kind of link the gospel with the posties, but there's really no reason to do that. Like in most of my games, I was like, oh yeah, it'd be cool like if I could do that, or like I can do that, but I don't really need to. Like since the goal isn't really to play enhancements in battle anyway, then it doesn't really matter like what extra brigades you have in battle. It's maybe kind of nice to have the extra negate from Gabriel, but a lot of the times I just kind of found myself either wanting Eliezer as meek, or I just didn't have all the pieces I needed, and it's a pretty specific, like you have to have Gabriel and then Eliezer, and then you have to have Jehoshaphat if you want to get Jeshua and Zerubbabel in there. So it's just kind of like too many pieces that don't quite fit like as well as a splashed deck should, as well as themes should, and so that I think is kind of where part of the problem was. Like overall, it works. Like it's the the whole idea is getting the speed from the nativity, just cranking out a bunch of tokens with Heavenly Host, and getting some of these other nativity heroes down, getting a big numerous as of stars to help that, and then doing Star of Bethlehem to set that all up, and then the battle is where the posties come in. They're oops, oh, I didn't realize I could just use my scroll wheel on Lackey like this. Okay. So, anyways, uh, so the battle is where the posties come in. So basically, like first turn, it's usually going to be Zerubbabel to Eliud. That's kind of the goal, to start picking away at their hand. And I've probably already played Teaching Comparables. And then second turn is where I use Book of the Law or like Crowd's Choice if I really need to grab Impartial Judgment, and then use awesome things to play that on Zerubbabel pre-block to just wipe their hand out completely. If I needed to use Wheat and Tears to bounce their evil characters, or use First Sacrifice to maybe clear the way, make sure they don't have a Woes or a Chronicles or something that they're going to have to, or going to be able to hang on to negate the Impartial Judgment. So it's really about guaranteeing that that goes through. And then third turn, hopefully you've cleared out enough defense and they haven't been able to rebuild enough in order for you to go in. Like there's really no battle winners. There's Angel of the Lord, which I decided, as I mentioned last week, was more important than Mayhem in the grand scheme of things, just because they're, sometimes there's going to be a pesky evil character that you just got to clear out of the way, or you just will be able to handle most of them, but not all. So anyways, the offense, it's good, it's fun, but it's not like competitive, I guess. We saw in a few of the games how it just like didn't quite get the job done. It didn't, especially in the last one there against Jacob. Felt like I just couldn't really get any momentum going, or like like really John was my only hope at winning that game, and that kind of fell apart. And with the second time I tried to kind of cheese a rescue with him. So anyways, if you haven't seen that video yet, you should. It was a good game and it was a lot of fun. But spoiler alert, I got trounced. Yeah. Didn't go so well. Mostly like in part to not having a great opening hand. Or I had a good opening hand, I think, for going second, but then a Mayhem that just kind of allowed Jacob to set up, and then I wasn't able to like get my stuff set up, and that's kind of the glass cannon aspect of this deck. And I think in order to make it more, in order to kind of do the same thing that I wanted to do, or like kind of have a similar breakdown of how I plan to rescue Lost Souls, but to do it kind of in a more, I guess, in a less glassy way, I think I just got to take out the posties. Sorry to say it, but I think that they could be replaced by cards that work a little bit better with the gospel theme, namely like other gospel heroes, other nativity heroes, and I think that would just make it a little bit more cohesive. I won't say that this will be better than like a straight up posty deck. Like if I could just as easily take out all the nativity stuff and make a really good posty deck. That's not what I'm saying. This is the best way to go about it, but I think it's I think the combination just doesn't quite hold up when it kind of gets under higher pressure. So I think this whole row here And probably, yeah, Solomon's Dream. Wouldn't really have anyone to play that on. I think all of these come out for just some other nativity cards. I think maybe the Bethany trio. They can kind of help with the hand pressure, and probably Simeon as well. He'll be the other nativity hero. I think I probably want to get in Resurrection Revealer to kind of fill in the negate neutral part for Akeem. Um, and yeah, I think that that's probably it. Maybe don't need the Magi. Be another trigger for the Heavenly Host. I do think Jeshua probably comes out, despite having some synergy with Star of Bethlehem. That is kind of nice. I don't know. That would be, yeah, he could be considered. We'll maybe put him to the side for now, but I think probably if I want to get the Bethany trio in for sure, then Jeshua's gonna have to come out, which means that Balaam's prophecy also probably comes out, and I think maybe becomes Famine in the Land, just to bounce my nativity heroes and make more tokens for Heavenly Host. But I don't know, then I lose out on another star card for Numerous as the Stars, so we'd kind of have to see where the numbers end up with that, because cutting out all these cards means cutting 7 star cards. All of these 7 right here are star cards, so we're going to have to make up for that with Numerous, and not all of the cards I want to add, like Resurrection Revealer, and are all the Bethany Trio star cards? I'm not sure. But it also gives us more space in the reserve here, so we'd be taking out Joshua and Matan and Jehoshaphat. I think the first sacrifice would be coming into the main deck here, because I want to have one option to at least know what they have on turn 1. And you might be thinking, yeah, Impartial Judgment, that comes out too, right? Wrong. So this is where I think you can still have kind of the same game plan, but not be like fully committed to posties. I think if you just splash in, it's going to be a teeny splash. It's going to be just a little drop in the nativity scene here on the nativity theme, putting Jotham the Mighty into reserve. So Jotham is going to be kind of our impartial judgment guy. So he just converts to Meek to take a good card from reserve. He can ban to a Meek hero, so he can just ban to either like one of the Bethany trio, converted, or you can just ban to a Heavenly Host token, which I think is probably going to be the case more often, because then you can pick off one of their evil characters or something in territory. And then you can grab Impartial Judgment from reserve, and then you just play that with awesome things. So let's see, what else did we say? We wanted Resurrection Revealer. We need, I think, probably Hospitality and Bethany. So if we're taking out the posty stuff, we're going to have a little bit more battle stuff, things that work well in battle. The Annunciation is going to be good. I think maybe is it Escape to Egypt? No. I should limit the scope of my searches here. What's the is it Flee? Flight into Egypt. There we go. So activating the star on that is pretty okay. Not great. I don't know. That might not end up in there. But it's nice in battle if you feel so inclined to activate or to play Star of Bethlehem during battle. Maybe the second time you play it. Yeah. We'll see. Let's go ahead and do Identifier contains Bethany. So let's see. Okay, so he's got a star, she's got a star, she's got a star. Okay, they do all have stars, so that's kind of nice. I think that they're probably going to go in. And then also we wanted Simeon, the Devout. Anna's maybe. We'll go ahead and just grab her for now. And who else? Who else did we want to add in here? Let's just grab the Magi just in case. And I don't think we need what's it called? Magnifying multitude, but we'll grab that just in case as well. Also, Book of the Law probably can come out. So let's grab Temple Veil in case we want that instead. And then also maybe the Manger and Bethlehem Stable. Definitely not going to have room for all of these, and depending on how much, like, I don't know, how much we want to lean into, like, the nativity stuff, and, you know, having, like, a legitimate battle offense versus just kind of going to the hand control stuff. You know, we'll see how much of that is worth keeping or worth including. So part of me is tempted to keep Jeshua because then I can keep teaching him parables in reserve, and maybe is there another gold hero that would make like at least an ounce of sense in here. I don't think there are any gold white heroes, are there? Brigade contains gold white. Okay, so there's Jephthah's daughter. Oh yeah, Good Shepherd. We're not doing Meeklaw souls. Yep, I don't think that makes any sense. What about, let's see, Gold Clay? We got Faithful Servant. I don't know. We'll think about that. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and load all of these to my hand. Okay, so these guys are all removed. These guys can be removed. These can be removed. So we took 4 cards out of reserve, and that means 6 cards out of the deck right now. Let's see, we did, oh yeah, because we moved first sacrifice to reserve, so 7 cards out of the deck. And we said Book of the Law could come out as well. I think everything else is fine to stay. Maybe we want Love Righteousness to help get out and make sure that we get to Heavenly Host right away on turn 1. Like that's kind of the biggest thing. Jeshua, he's still kind of a maybe. So Jotham is going to be going to reserve. So we'll be able to get him out with either Virgin Birth, Emmaus Road. It's really not that hard to get him out, despite him being a splashed in, you know, like Old Testament hero. Yeah, we also wanted Famine in the Land, but we can get there. So I think Resurrection Revealer for sure. Simeon for sure. I think the Bethany Trio is probably a for sure in here. You know, they're not good, all of them. Lazarus, come on, man. All right, let's just clear all of this out of here since we've already got all of that. Lazarus, and we wanted Famine in the Land. And let's go ahead and just grab Love Righteousness here while we're at it. And let's see, we've got an empty deck, so we can go ahead and load to your deck. Can't see it. Show me. Also, you might have noticed this is on a fresh Lackey installation because, assuming everything went well with editing and whatnot, I just put out a Lackey installation on Mac OS video. And this is kind of part of the computer problems I was having. Kind of got forced into it, but I wanted to do it at some point anyway, so I was like, all right, well, might as well. Um, so while my computer is out of commission, or my regular desktop, was like, all right, well, I've got this MacBook, might as well try it out. These cards are all maybes. I think Temple Veil is probably for sure because it can help make more tokens. It can get some hand information like, okay, do I need to go in with Simeon or do I need to, should I go in with Martha? Um, do I need to use the first sacrifice or I think let's I just like teaching in parables so much. Let's just put it in the reserve for now. Okay, so we've got 6 cards left in here. We've got 10, maybe 11 heroes in the deck. Maybe Joshua stays, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Right now, this actually, it looks okay. I think we had enough nativity heroes beforehand, like to make sure that we maxed out Star of Bethlehem early, and then, to make sure that the let's see, make sure that I had enough tokens later on. So I think that that's okay. Do I want to put any of these in reserve? I suppose I probably could. Like maybe Anna could go in reserve as kind of an extra virgin birth target. But I do have ways, or I have now more females that I can play virgin birth on to go to heroes in deck. So maybe that's not necessary. Can any of the Bethany trio like just go in reserve? I don't know. I probably want them all right away on turn 1, huh? Like that's probably my turn 1 attack. That it's no longer Zerubbabel to Eliud. I mean, this basically does the same thing, which is crazy. I mean, it's even better because like they can't be negated. You can ban to Lazarus, you can ban to Mary, you convert to Meek, and then you've got more numbers, more heroes, and you're doing basically the same thing, but you're also negating evil cards. Like, what? That's crazy. I guess their evil card from hand does go to reserve instead of discard, and it doesn't hit stuff in territory. So if you hit all of their stuff in hand, and then they have an evil character in territory still, then it doesn't hit that. But whatever. I do think that Wheat and Tares is still going to be important because taking out Book of the Law, I don't have like any ways to bounce my opponent's defense, which that's an important aspect, and that's another reason to keep teaching in parables and Jeshua. Like, oh man, it's just so hard to cut Jeshua. Plus with Coming Prince, like, yeah, I think he stays. I think he stays. Book of the Law might even stay then too. Might be better than Temple Veil. I don't know. Let's see. How many cards is this? So 14, 18, 22, 11 heroes is 33, 8 enhancements is 41, 48. What? 48, 53. 53 cards as I took out so many cards. Okay. So I just got to move 2 of them to reserve, and then of course, the defense might need a little bit of reworking too. I wasn't really going to touch anything with the defense, but Romans Destroy Jerusalem feels a little bit worse when it's just going to leave me with a Jeshua. Still have Herod's Temple, but I think the best way to play Romans Destroy Jerusalem is with Herod Antipas and an OT offense. So I just don't know that it quite fits as well, but I still have the cross to toss it and Herod's Temple, of course, to toss it. So I don't know. Maybe it's fine there still, just kind of like use it in a pinch. So what can I move to reserve? Probably some of these enhancements. Maybe I don't need Love Righteousness. That might just be like overkill with numerous. Like it's another way to get to numerous though, which is part of the draw of it, I guess. But it's not a star card, so it doesn't help me there. I do think Hospitality in Bethany is good. Too bad that's not a gospel card. You could just use that to grab that. Yeah, that wouldn't be very good. I don't think I can really justify putting Love Righteousness in reserve because I've already got lots of enhancements in here. 11 heroes is kind of what you want, but it's maybe more than is absolutely necessary. Maybe Mary of Bethany can go into reserve. Is that heresy? I don't know. Probably not. I think it's fine. Because like really the only one, I mean, like if I'm kind of replacing the Zerubbabel to allow you attack on the first turn, I really only need Martha and Lazarus because Martha does the reserve, she does the band, and then Lazarus, you can either just convert Martha or um, or himself. You get to draw two, which is what Zerubbabel does, and then you've got two heroes in battle, and you're also getting evil cards. So then yeah, you're doing all that and more. So I think that that's probably where it's at. I could also see putting Simeon in reserve because he's not a star card, but he is green, which, you know, do you need enough green guys in order to be able to play Numerous, in order to play Emmaus Road, and also First Sacrifice? So I think Love Righteousness stays. Like that's basically that basically counts as a hero right there. Um, does the Enunciation go into reserve? Is taking a dominant on turn one good enough? I mean, like I guess it's grabs star or grabs crowd's choice and goes into anything. It's also a star card. Um, Man, I've got so much, I've got so many good enhancements in reserve already. I don't think one of the evil characters goes in reserve. That just feels really tight. If I did put one in, it'd probably just be Claudius going back in there. Since I really only need one Emperor for Denarius in the main deck, and then Claudius can come out pretty easily with Clinging Power. Maybe that's what I can do for now. It makes the defense a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more risky, but here for that once in a while. So I'm just going to put these in the removed zone. I'm going to save the game right here. I'm just going to do a quick test draw with the deck as it is right now. So this is the reserve, this is the deck. Let's put it all in here, reveal to all, and then in shuffle. And I was at 51 last week. I didn't quite get it down to 50. And so that looks like that's where we're going to be hanging out this week as well. You guys can leave a comment suggesting what card I should cut. And of course, if I don't draw a hero here, that's gonna be look, no hero. I went down to 10 heroes. Well, we got Justice Seekers too. That's kind of a hero. But that's all right. We've got a Denarius, which fixes all the problems everywhere. I get to look at my opponent's hand. I get to discard the top card of their deck, and I get to lawless myself. So reveal to all top 6. And find an evil card, probably just take Domitian here because then I can go grab either, probably not Saul of Tarsus yet, I can go grab Terrifying Beast with Denarius, and then I've got Beast and Domitian right away, which is pretty sweet. Lost Soul goes into play, rest go to the bottom. That goes to my hand, the Lost Soul lets me exchange, so I might as well go ahead and do that. And I think I could just go ahead and go right to Imitate here because then I get, where is it? There it is. I mean, this is all assuming that I'm going first. If I'm going second, I'd probably go for Undesirables there. But since if I'm going first, then I go for Imitate because I can use that right away on my turn then. So if I go first, go to my upkeep, Imitate, Lawless, reveal to all top 6. Grab another evil card, which is Clinging. Rest go to the bottom. Wow, look at all those great good cards to draw. So I could go ahead and could just start out with Domitian. Also, I've got Herod the Great for delivered. So even if I didn't have Daenerys, I'd still probably be fine. because I would be able to find an Arius. So activate Denarius, go grab a beast, and shuffle that up. Discard Denarius, get that draw 3. I don't have my stuff set up on here yet because, like I said, it's a fresh Lackey installation, so I have to do everything manually the hard way. Got a Galileans, which I'm just going to not care about um, for the purposes of this. I probably don't even need it for where my hand is at right now, honestly. Actually, okay, here's what I would do. Since I found a green hero that I can play Delivered on, I would use Galileans to swap Herod with Duplicity because it's a star card. And so it gives me another numerous thing there, which I've got numerous in hand right there. I suppose might as well just put down Saul, play Pretension. While I don't have a hero to target, it's the first turn, the reserve a hero is not optional, so if you can play this before you have any heroes down, that's probably ideal, or you maybe just reserve one of your Heavenly Host tokens. So reserve a hero, I'll just reveal the Hospitality and the Simeon in order to draw 2. And there's another hero. And you can go ahead and put down an artifact. You kind of want to clear your hand as best you can before playing numerous. Clinging to Power. I don't know that I have any other... Well, I guess I could grab Stricken, which has a star ability. Yep, I suppose that'd be the one. It's got Protect in the star ability, so you can grab it with Clinging to Power. Reveal to all, and then shuffle, send to bottom of deck. Got that, and I think now is the time where I might as well just go ahead and drop the numerous. I would reveal these 6 cards. I've got 9 cards in hand, so I can go grab 6 without hitting hand limit here. So who would the 6 be now? Probably Joshua, definitely Justice Seekers. Probably want to start with the Nativity folks so that making sure that I get enough tokens out. So I think, let's see, I'm grabbing 6, right? So then I might as well just grab the others of the Bethany trio. I mean, that 6 is just bananas to hit. That's all of my human heroes. That's all of the heroes that I could target. The rest are all angels there. So these all would go to hand, and let's see, I could go ahead and put down Jeshua. Since these heroes don't trigger my Heavenly Host, then I can go ahead and put down Martha. I guess I've already got Simeon down, so it doesn't really matter. I've summoned that I can play 5th Seal on, but problem is that with what I want to go for here is the Angel appears, and if I don't, or I have to get a few cards out of my hand in order to not have hand advantage, so that I can actually use that. So I might as well play First Sacrifice now just to see what they have and see if there are going to be any issues with me trying to pop off. I'm not doing. I don't need to do numerous again. Yeah, and I have Coming Prince in reserve, so I don't need to worry about keeping more star cards in my hand at this point. So I can go ahead and take a card out of their hand, which I guess doesn't actually help with the hand advantage part of things, but it helps you know what they have and what they're planning to do. So let's see, I've got 1 Nativity hero down, I've got 3 in hand, which really means I don't need to make more tokens to max out Star of Bethlehem right away, but I do want to have them for the Impartial Judgment on turn 2, so I think, I don't know, it's kind of risky to put down the Terrifying Beast right here with Authority of Christ running around. Like, I kind of learned that lesson the hard way against Jacob of getting down your hand advantage by putting down your evil characters and then getting blown out with Authority of Christ. So you got to be careful about that. So I think, so right now I'm at 10. They would probably have at like maybe if they had like one of the acceleration lustles like Lawless or Prosperity, then they would have more cards in hand. But conservative would be thought, I guess, would be that they have 7. So probably got to put down John here, and then I can play Angel Appears. Oh, I'm still at 7 cards. So I just gotta risk it. Hopefully I draw into Famine in the Land and put down Zechariah. Play an Angel Appears. I can go grab, or maybe I could even just drop 3 Woes. I mean, that is an option there. You could drop 3 Woes on something just to have it on the table, and then play Delivered to go activate the cross. I don't know. It's a little bit risky. It would kind of depend on what you saw in their hand with First Sacrifice, so that's another reason to do that. Like, if I saw Authority of Christ with the First Sacrifice, then I definitely wouldn't want to put down the Terrifying Beast. But anyway, so we go ahead and get the Heavenly Host, the host with the most. Make a token, and then we've got the Annunciation to go and grab Star of Bethlehem and go ahead and play that. So, how many cards do you get to draw? A lot is the answer. So we've got 6, so we get to look at their reserve if I want to. I guess I already look at their hand at the beginning of the turn, so First Sacrifice there maybe wouldn't be necessary, but definitely want to do the Hospitality in Bethany to get that draw too. Definitely want to do Deliver to hit their top card again. Want to do John the Forerunner to top deck a good dominant from deck. That's kind of cool. Can resurrect a Gospel Human Hero with Lazarus. It's a good star ability to have access to with Star of Bethlehem. And that goes to reserve. So looks like it's just going to be these 4 and then Star itself. So can go ahead and do John's first, because why not? It kind of depends on like what you need. Like if I think I'm going to want Angel of the Lord, maybe I'll do that just in case. Put that on top, and then it'll be a draw 2 with Hospitality in Bethany, and draw, discard their top card with Delivered, draw 6 with Star of Bethlehem, and get to look at their hand. And then after everything else has gone, so let's see, I guess we'll just go ahead and draw 8. Lost Soul, so make a token, and then after everything, all the other abilities have resolved, then I get a draw 1 with the Jeshua top deck trigger from John. So nice fresh 14 cards here, and yeah, I guess the argument for playing Delivered before that is actually pretty good, because then I wouldn't be drawing into my other artifacts. So like right now I could only go get Golden Calf, which certainly isn't bad, but if I had drawn both Golden Calf and the Cross with those 14 cards, and that would, or however many cards, 12 cards, 9 cards, then that would have felt kind of bad. So I guess I do have, I didn't draw into Golgotha, so I don't have a place to activate the Cross there. I can put down Gabriel, make another token, and I can play, that only goes to reserve, so yeah, wouldn't want to do Virgin Birth quite yet. And at this point, everything else before going to battle is kind of superfluous, but here we are. I ran out of star cards in the deck to grab with the Emmaus Road. I mean, there's only 11 cards left in the deck right now, but still. That, I guess, yeah, gets shuffled back in. might as well do Love Righteousness to go get Justice Seekers back. Not that that's entirely necessary, but so yeah, then you can easily just waltz in with Gabriel. You can ban to Martha, and then make them reserve an evil card from hand. Ban to Lazarus. Convert maybe Martha to Meek to draw 2 cards. I guess I just put that right on top, didn't I? Okay, shuffle. Still on top. Good old Lackey Shuffler. And they're going to have probably a tough time blocking that after the Martha trigger and first sacrifice. But, just in case, they've got the Angel of Lord as a backup there. So hopefully you can see how this would be a little bit more cohesive. I think the draw there was kind of lucky and assumed that my opponent didn't have any interaction, like playing a 3 woes on Denarius, which I definitely encourage. Like, if you're going second and your opponent activates a 4 Drachma Coin or Denarius, just drop your woes on it. You'll probably not regret it. You just want to make sure that you know which alignment you want your woes to be. So, like, if you're attacking their hand a lot, you probably want it to be evil in case they have Storehouse or Bethlehem Stable. If you're worried about, their Herod's Temple, you probably want it to be evil. A lot of times you just want it to be evil. That seems like probably the best default right now, because the best cards are going to target, I think, are most often going to be good or neutral. That's the most hampering heroes, like Elizabeth and Akeem and Resurrection Revealer, that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think of what evil cards you even want to target with woes right now, outside of during battle. So that's my recommendation, I guess. Could also pretty easily get his sacrifice in this reserve with all of the things that get artifacts and good enhancements from reserve. I guess you have to watch out with the Jeshua for the Unity. But yeah, that's doesn't seem to be a huge deal. That's a downside of cutting Book of the Law, is that Temple Veil can't bounce Jeshua. So if you do end up having to use John, you got to be kind of careful with that. But that's where Famine in the Land comes in handy, because I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically next turn is just you can do the draw 3, Virgin Birth, go grab Jotham, rescue with Jotham, convert him to Meek, play Impartial Judgment, and this is after playing Famine in the Land to bounce your Nativity heroes and make 4 more tokens, so that you have, let's see, I guess you could also play Emmaus Road to go get Mary from reserve, play her as Meek, and then you got 8 Meek heroes. Hopefully should be enough with Impartial Judgment. Or you can play Emmaus Road to go grab Wheaton Terrors and, hit him that way. Or you can play Emmaus Road to go get the Coming Prince, and then he can play Star of Bethlehem again and probably get Emmaus Road back and then do one of those. That seems like it's probably the best option. So yeah, this. Oh, I guess you do have to find awesome things before you do the attack there. Make sure you do that. All right, we kind of fell apart at the end here, but hopefully you guys get the idea. Hopefully this was an enjoyable enough video of kind of what I would do if I wanted to kind of do a little 180 with the deck here. With the whole Postivity thing, which is now just really Nativity with Bethany, so maybe Nativity, Nativity, I don't know. So yeah, I think that's probably a better, oh man, the Bethany trio is just, it's silly how good it is. Tyler has been talking about it all the time, and I finally got around to, like, I mean, I hadn't really played anybody who was using it, but I think I got around to like playing it myself. And uh, what deck was that? I don't know. I think it's just good. It's good. You should probably run it, or you could just run a Posey deck and play Romans Destroy Jerusalem and just own the Bethany trio because can't be negated. Boom. Let's drop the RDJ bomb on them, and hopefully they don't have the cross active. Because they can be in trouble. Okay, anyways, that's where we're gonna wrap up this week's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the one-sided gameplay here and the kind of the deck construction, and we made it more nativity than before. So Christmas video. Seems like a pretty good Christmas video. And I've got this new sweater, which I bought for myself, so it wasn't like a Christmas gift, but it feels kind of Christmassy. It's like it's got like a kind of Christmas-ish pattern to it. So. Okay, I need to go to bed. Stop talking. It's kind of late. All right, thanks guys. We'll catch you next time.